If we examine the end of each Star Wars trilogy with the prequels, we had the death of Padme Amidala, Count Dooku, and General Grievous, and in the original trilogy we had the death of Yoda, Emperor Palpatine, and Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, a lot of people have been talking about Star Wars Episode 9 and what's to come in this movie by writer and director J.J. Abrams. We do know that he's going to be throwing a lot of twists and turns and surprises to the fans around the world that will truly shock a lot of people and never see certain things coming their way. So with Episode 9, we do know that a lot of things will tie into the prequels as well. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. Now, what's really intriguing to me is that Star Wars Episode 9 is said to have a major character death by J.J. Abrams, the man who wrote the film and is currently directing this movie over at Pinewood and Cardington and other locations around the world. There will be a major character death in this film that is said to actually resonate with fans, that'll actually make them very sad and emotional over the death, and this is honestly raising a lot of questions of to who the main character will be that will die in Star Wars Episode 9. And honestly, I believe it dwindles down to 4 people. It's either going to be Leia, Lando, Kylo Ren, or of course Rey. Of course, you know, there's a possibility of Chewbacca dying in this film as well, but I really do believe it only dwindles down to those 4 characters. Leia, Lando, Kylo Ren, and Rey. And the reason as to why I bring this up is because we have 2 living legacy characters, as well as 2 main sequel trilogy characters. You know, if you look at Finn and Poe, they're more around the lines of a side character. I think it's safe to say that, right? So a main character death coming in Star Wars Episode 9 that will be very emotional and sad to fans watching the film. I'm going to go ahead and take a big guess that this is going to be Rey in Star Wars Episode 9. If J.J. Abrams truly is going to throw in a lot of twists and turns and surprises and really trying to think outside the box here, what better way to do this than to kill off the main hero in order to give the main villain an actual, you know, redemption arc. And I talked about this in my last video that came along with some of the REYLO details. You know, we actually have heard about this sequence where, of course, Kylo Ren is holding an injured and unconscious Rey, where she's basically in his arms while a battle is actually happening in the background. And that to me sounds like Rey is going to die. Now, of course, maybe she lives on, and we do know that Daisy Ridley cried so very much at the original, you know, script of Star Wars Episode 9 by Colin Trevorrow. And that all had to do with the ending of the movie and her character. And I think there's a lot of reason to believe that parts of Colin's script actually transferred over into JJ's script. You know, usually when they do rewrite a story from another writer, some elements do carry on over. So with that being said, I really do believe that, you know, it could very well be Rey and or Leia. You know, they could always do something with the character of Leia, because after all, this is going to be the end of the Skywalker saga forever. I don't know if you guys knew Disney's plan, but they're looking at Star Wars Episode 9 as a way of ending the Skywalker saga forever. The whole entire story about the Skywalkers and all of them are going to be ending in this movie, which honestly is rather upsetting. I know some of you guys out there, you know, are very happy that they're moving away from the Skywalkers, but I think it's more profitable for a company like Disney and Lucasfilm to continue this very well-known bloodline in pop culture, the Skywalkers. Just continue them on and create a brand new trilogy, just how they did in, of course, the old EU/Legends material, you know, with the son of Luke Skywalker, Ben Skywalker, and even his descendant, Cade Skywalker. You know, there's so much they could honestly do. If they really wanted to do something epic, they could have like a surprise in this movie where like Luke's daughter or son just steps in out of nowhere. You know, they could do that as a way of continuing the Skywalker bloodline. It's really that easy of a fix, really. But looking at Episode 9, guys, the fact that a main character death is going to be in Episode 9 honestly has me worried. It does. Because I don't want to see Lando Calrissian, you know, either dying in the form of a way that would honestly not be too well, kind of like how they did with Luke Skywalker. That's a type of death that I just did not agree with. And if we get another death where a lot of fans don't agree with it, I'm not quite sure how a lot of people are going to look at this trilogy, generally speaking. In The Force Awakens, we had the death of Han. In The Last Jedi, we had the death of Luke. Now in Episode 9, it really is, of course, I think, all pointing towards Lando, Leia, Kylo Ren, and Rey. So, the fact that J.J. Abrams, has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, and there is going to be a main character death in this movie, I don't know, guys, I'm a little bit worried here. They could be following some Legends material. After all, we do know that they are borrowing elements from the EU in this film. So, I don't know if you guys knew this, but in the EU, Chewbacca died, so they could do something like that if they really wanted to. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.